Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation today on how to write a capstone project. I'm Dr. Nadine Spring. I'm a professor of public health, and today I'll be guiding you through a step-by-step approach to creating a successful capstone project. This guide is going to help you understand the key components and the essential steps that are involved with creating your capstone. Let's go ahead and get started. So, we'll cover the main topics today. And first, I'll define what a capstone project is, and I'll discuss its significance. Next, I'll go over the key components and structure of a capstone project to understand what should be included. And finally, we'll go through the steps to writing a successful capstone. I'll offer practical tips and guidance along the way. This overview will sort of serve as a roadmap for what to expect and how to approach your very own capstone. So, what is a capstone project? A capstone is a culminating or final academic assignment that typically comes at the end of your program or your course. The purpose is to integrate and apply the knowledge and skills you would have been gaining throughout your coursework. This project demonstrates your ability to apply theories and concepts to real world scenarios. And often it involves conducting research, analyzing data, and applying your findings in a practical context. Essentially, it's basically a chance to showcase what you've learned and how you can use it in a meaningful way. The capstone project is significant for a number of different reasons. First, it showcases your academic and professional skills. It also allows you to demonstrate what you've learned throughout the program. It provides you with a valuable platform for problem solving and critical thinking, and these are all essential skills for any field, not just public health. And additionally, completing a capstone project will enhance your resume and your portfolio, making you stand out to potential employers. Most importantly, it prepares you for real world challenges by giving you the opportunity to apply theoretical knowledge in practical situations. I always encourage my students to try to publish their capstone projects beyond the course. And this could have huge implications, for your resume, things like your LinkedIn profile, and give you more visibility when it comes to, job hunting and job seeking down the line. So here are the key components of what should be included in your capstone. You need to have an abstract. And this is a brief summary of your project, including the purpose, methods, and key findings. You need to have an introduction and a background. And this will provide the context for your project and outlines its scope and significance. You need to have a research question or problem statement where you clearly define the issue or the question your project addresses. You need to have a literature review. And this is where you will review the existing research relevant to your topic and identify the gaps that your project will address. When it comes to the literature review, I always advise students to make sure that they are seeking articles that are current. For instance, if you're conducting a capstone on obesity, it's currently 2024. You don't want to really be using articles from 1989, okay? You want to get articles that are recent, preferably within the last 5 years. So just remember that as much as possible, try to get recent articles. Of course, I know there are certain theoretical frameworks and theories where the articles may be older than recent. So, but that's fine. There's always exceptions to the rule. In your capstone, you want to have a methodology section, and this is going to describe the methods and procedures you used to conduct your research. You'll also want to have results and analysis where you present and interpret the findings from your research. You should have a discussion section where you discuss the implications of your results and how they relate to your research question. Everything needs to be in alignment. So in the discussion, you have to relate it back to your original research question. Include a conclusion and recommendation section where you summarize your findings and suggest practical recommendations for future research directions. Include references where you list all of the sources that you cited in your project. And each of these components are going to play a huge role in structuring your project and ensuring that you cover all necessary aspects. So now let's dive into the abstract, which is a crucial part of your capstone project. The abstract is going to be a concise summary that gives readers a snapshot of your entire project. And it should be anywhere between 150 to 250 words and provide an overview of the purpose, the methods, the results, and the conclusions of your work. When you're formatting your abstract, you want to write the word abstract centered and bolded at the top of the page and make sure not to indent the first line of the abstract. Include key elements such as the purpose of your projects, the methods you used, the main findings, and any conclusions or recommendations. The abstract is going to help your readers quickly understand what your project is about and decide if they want to read more. The introduction and background. In this section of your capstone project, you will need to clearly define the scope and purpose of your project. Why is this important? What meaning does this project have? So you start by explaining what your project is about and the specific aspects you'll be addressing. Next, you're going to provide context and background information to give readers a thorough understanding of the topic. This might include historical context, current trends, or relevant data that frames your research. And you want to explain the significance of your research or project. Describe why this project matters, what gap it fills, and how it contributes to your field. This helps to underline the importance of your work, and it's going to set the stage for the rest of your project. And be sure to cite appropriately throughout your capstone. So, in this part of the capstone, you need to clearly state your research question or problem statement. This should be a precise and focused question or problem that your project aims to address. Make sure that your question or problem is specific, it's measurable, and it's researchable. This means it should be clearly defined, able to be evaluated through research, and feasible within the scope of your project. Additionally, you want to explain why this question or problem is important. Describe its relevance and significance to your field or to real-world issues. This helps to justify your project and demonstrates its value to the reader. Now, I'll talk about what to expect in the literature review section. And here is where you'll need to review relevant literature and existing research related to your topic. Start by summarizing key studies, any theories and findings that are pertinent to your project. Do your best to find peer-reviewed articles within the last 5 years. And so, for instance, if your topic is on obesity, it likely won't be relevant to use articles from the early 1990s when right now we are in 2024. As you review the literature, identify any gaps or limitations in the current research. Explain how your project addresses these gaps or contributes new insights to the field. This helps to position your research within the broader context and demonstrates its relevance. And last, you want to summarize the key findings from previous studies. Highlight the most important results and how they inform your own research. This not only provides a foundation for your project, but will also show that you have a strong grasp on the existing knowledge in your area. In the methodology section, you'll describe the methods and procedures you used to conduct your research. You'll start by outlining the specific techniques and approaches you employed to gather and analyze data. Explain your data collection methods, such as surveys, interviews, experiments, or secondary data sources. Here, you'll detail how you collected and processed this data to ensure accuracy and reliability. You also want to provide a rationale for your choice of methodology. Justify why these methods were appropriate for your research question or problem and how they align with your project's objectives. This helps to validate your research approach and demonstrate its suitability for addressing your research question. In the results and analysis section, you'll present your research findings in a clear and organized manner. Begin by summarizing the key results of your study and make sure to present them in a logical sequence. You want to use charts, graphs, and tables to visually represent your data. These visual aids can help to clarify complex information and make it more accessible to others. After presenting the results, analyze and interpret the data. Discuss what the findings mean in the context of your research question or problem. Highlight and focus in on any patterns, any trends, or significant outcomes and explain their implications. This analysis helps to connect your findings with the broader context of your study and supports your conclusion. In the discussion section, you will interpret your research findings and explore the implications. Start by explaining what your results mean in the context of your research question or problem. Discuss how these results contribute to understanding the topic and their significance in your field. Compare your findings with the literature reviewed earlier. Highlight any similarities or differences and discuss how your results align with or may challenge the previous research. Acknowledge any limitations with your study, such as the sample size, or perhaps there were constraints with the methodology, and consider how these might impact your results or their interpretation. And lastly, you want to suggest areas for future research. Propose how future studies could address any gaps or build upon your findings to advance the field. In the conclusion and recommendation section, this is where you'll summarize the key findings from your research and their broader implications. Recap the most significant results and discuss what they mean in the context of your study. You'll want to offer practical recommendations based on your findings. These could be suggestions for practice, policy changes, or areas where improvements can be made. Address any limitations of your study, such as constraints on the data or methodology, and consider how these might impact your conclusions. You want to suggest potential areas for future research and propose how subsequent studies could address these limitations, explore new questions, or build upon your work to further the field. You'll need a reference page. And in the references section, you'll need to list all of the sources you cited throughout your project. This list should include every book, every article, every website, and any other sources that you referred to and used in your research. Make sure to follow the appropriate citation style required for your project, such as APA or MLA. Consistency in formatting is key to maintaining a professional appearance. So you don't want to start off in APA and then midway switch to MLA in the same document. No, you have to be consistent. Many universities I know use APA. Lastly, you want to ensure that all of your references are accurate and complete. Double check all details, including author names, publication dates, and page numbers to avoid any errors. Providing a well organized and correct reference list is going to be essential for the credibility of your research. To ensure the success of your capstone, here are some valuable tips. As a professor, I'm always sharing these with my students. Start early and plan ahead. Begin working on your project well in advance. You should at least have a sense of your title or your topic well in advance. Create a timeline and set milestones to help you stay on track. Too often, students think they can get this done in a weekend or in a day. No, 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 not a capstone. Seek feedback regularly from your advisors and your peers. Their perspectives can provide valuable insights and help you enhance your project. Take the time to revise and proofread your work thoroughly. Ensure that your writing is clear and is free of errors, and that your project meets all formatting and guideline requirements. Stay organized. Keep all your research materials and drafts organized. Following a structured approach and adhering to project guidelines will help you maintain focus and achieve a polished final product. To support you in writing your capstone, here are some additional resources you might find helpful. Look for books and tools specifically designed for capstone projects or academic writing. This video is one such tool or resource. These resources can further provide guidance and enhance your understanding of best practices. Many institutions, especially in academia, offer writing centers that provide personalized assistance. There are numerous online resources available, such as academic writing websites and forums that can offer tips and advice. Take advantage of all of them, okay? Reviewing examples of successful capstone projects can provide you with inspiration and insight into what a well executed project looks like. Analyze these examples to understand how they are structured and presented. To wrap up our presentation, let's recap the main points we covered today. I discussed the essential elements of a capstone project, including the introduction, the literature review, the methodology, and so much more. We also explored tips for success and additional resources to help you along the way. I encourage each of you, every single one of you, to apply what you've learned today to your very own capstone projects. Use these guidelines to structure your work effectively and make the most of the resources available to you. For more tips and resources, please subscribe to my channel. This will help to keep you updated on future content that can further support your academic and professional journey. And if you have any further questions or need additional support, feel free to reach out to me directly at nadine@springwell360.com or visit my website, www.springwell360.com. Thank you all for your attention and best of luck with your capstone projects. These are my references. And remember to subscribe.